Hello, everyone!
So I tend to enjoy drawing in different art programs, trying them out by drawing usually Miku in them. If you've followed me for a while, you've probably have seen that I've made speed paints like that a few times now. But I've never done any sort of commentary, talking about the process, or my thoughts on using these programs. So I thought it'd just be fun to make a full video on it with multiple different programs, and sharing my thoughts on them. I know that this is by no means an original video idea. People have made many videos like this in the past, but I'm just doing this for fun. With all introductions out of the way, let's start with the first program, Clip Studio Paint. So for this one, I struggled a lot with coming up with an idea I liked, an issue that will be reoccurring. I decided to cut all of it out because I felt it wasn't necessary. I doubt 20 minutes worth of random sketches is that entertaining. With the rough sketch done, I started drawing the proper sketch. I had to shrink the canvas here because I realized it was way too big and made the brushes look off. You can see here that there was a pause for a second after finishing the sketch. That was me downloading a lasso fill brush. Ignore the horrendous blue teal tone I used here, it'll be fixed in a bit. While I'm doing the coloring and rendering here, I'll start talking about the piece itself. So this is fan art of Streaming Heart by Deco27. I really like the song a lot, especially that one Nico Nico chorus video. If you're familiar with it, you've probably noticed that I'm not following the design from the official MV, or the bandaged heart module from Project Diva. The reason for that is that while I like the concept of that module, I felt the outfit itself was kinda boring. So I decided to take the jacket from it and just put it on top of Micah's default outfit. You know, I've just now noticed that I forgot to add the red ombre on the tips of her hair. Oopsie. If you're wondering why I use the lasso tool to color, it's because it's faster than using a normal brush to outline, and then switching to the bucket tool to fill it. It might sound like it doesn't save that much time, but I assure you the time it takes switching between them over and over again really does it up. I also feel I have a bit more control with it over just using a brush. If you want to use the lasso tool like I do, I would highly suggest practicing line confidence. Being able to make stable lines is important because it's very noticeable when you have wobbly lines, and usually tends to look worse because of it. It also ends up taking more time if you have to constantly go back and adjust and redo things due to the unsteady lines. And of course, you don't have to listen to my advice if you don't want to. Art is about having fun and expressing yourself. If you don't enjoy doing that, you don't have to. So talking about Clip Studio Paint now, I think CSP is pretty good. I've used it a few times in the past, but I've never actually put in the time to make a full finished piece in it until now. I really had no issues working on this, which can't be said about some other programs later. Everything was pretty simple. I didn't have any issues to find exactly what I needed. It was pretty chill working on this one. I did the majority of it in one sitting, and then finished the rest of it the next day. If you're not used to PC art programs, the layout probably looks complicated, but if you just take a bit of time to adjust, it's really not bad at all. If you're struggling at all, I know people have made tutorials explaining the UI on CSP, and there's probably tutorials for other programs too. By the way, you might be seeing this art and thinking, all the rest of the pieces in this are gonna be the same level of quality. So I wanna say, please lower your standards. I did not have the same passion for the rest of the art I drew, if I'm being honest. Well, for one of them I did, but we'll get to it when we get to it. If you have the money, I would definitely recommend Clip Studio Paint. Don't have much else to say. We're at the end of the speed paint anyways. And now for the second art program, Project Sekai. Well, that was really easy. Okay, but actually this is definitely a challenge, but not necessarily in a fun way. I found it pretty boring, honestly. The shapes are very limited, and dealing with the layers gets kinda annoying after a while. Here you can see where I got lazy, and just used the Miku PNG for the pigtails. Work smarter, not harder or something. Here I got bored and started putting various Miku things I had everywhere. Really don't have much else to say on this one. And now for the first web browser one, Magma. Once again, I struggled coming up with something I liked, so I started drawing how I felt kinda. I'm glad Magma also has a lasso tool, however I don't like how there wasn't an option to turn the anti-aliasing off, at least not one I could find. I like having the harsh clear pixels. I think the blur makes it look kinda bad, so it was a little upsetting to have it be blurry like that. I did however like that the pixelated brush they had was square instead of round, unlike some other programs I've used. I don't know how to properly describe it, but square brushes feel so much nicer to use over round ones. I think Magma is alright, wouldn't use it to make anything serious, but it works fine if you just want to have some fun. I imagine it's probably a lot of fun if you're drawing with friends, as the main gimmick of Magma is that you can draw with people on the same canvas at the same time. One thing that was a little annoying though, was that I had to turn off my taskbar to see the layers section. I also couldn't change any of the settings every time I tried Dot. He just said there were overlapping shortcuts, so I couldn't save, even though those were the default shortcuts. So I decided to make her be underwater because while sketching the hair, I didn't want it to be on the ground because I thought it was boring. So I made her hair be flowing upwards, and felt that her being underwater made that make more sense. It also fit well with the general vibe and color palette I was going for. At this point I really didn't like how it was turning out, so I got very demotivated and didn't really want to work on it anymore. The highlight color I used for the black parts of her outfit is so bad. It's way too bright. What was I thinking? Here we have adding lighting effects trying to mask how bad it looks. To pretend it looks better than it actually does. I really should have spent more time on this, but I just really didn't want to. Here we have me just doodling in a random public canvas. Don't have anything to say on this one. Next is Fire Alpaca. Once again I struggled to come up with something I liked. This sketch isn't what I went with, but I thought it was funny so I kept it in. The pose was inspired by The Art of Cat Food by Doriko. For this one I just didn't bother with a sketch. The whole concept was so simple that it didn't warrant a sketch. I can't really say what inspired this one. The image just kinda popped in my head. Fire Alpaca is pretty nice. I used to use it quite a bit around 2017 to 2019 if I remember correctly. Honestly, it does feel similar to CSV. It has a lasso fill tool and the ability to turn anti-aliasing off, which is great. The style of this one is definitely messy and more experimental. Is that a good thing? I don't know, you be the judge of that one. Although the intent was to be messy and unpolished, I definitely should have worked on some parts of it one. And here we're at the part where I added some filters and effects. It was fun adding some texture using some of the light, stamp type default brushes it has. Krita time. This time I already came in with an idea in mind. The inspiration and thought process behind this one was that looked up at my monitor and saw a phone in the middle of the song I was listening to, and an image of Miku holding a phone dot in front of her face popped up in my mind. While sketching the hair I didn't want it to be straight down because it's boring and wouldn't fill out the canvas very well, so I made it be flowing in the wind and added some petals flying by as well, to hopefully kinda suggest that there's a scene happening in front of Miku, and that's why she's holding her phone out recording or taking a picture. Anyways, I hate Krita. It was genuinely awful to use. I don't like the UI. The brushes being drawn icons makes it hard to tell what they actually look like. The brushes just didn't blend well. The shortcuts were whack, like why is the eyedropper P? I had to go into my tablet's settings to change the buttons on my pen to match the eyedropper and brush shortcuts. The pressure sensitivity on the brushes annoyed me. Perhaps I could they fixed it, but I didn't want to put the effort into finding the settings for it. It would just randomly lag sometimes, and I had to practically violently shake my mouse to get it to work anytime after using my tablet pen, which happens quite a lot because middle mouse is how you move your view on the canvas. I also couldn't find the clipping mask. And back on the shortcut thing, much like how Ctrl Z is the undo button on everything ever, Ctrl Y is supposed to be the redo button. But it isn't on Krita. What does Control Y do? No idea, but it toggled something on and off that puts a red overlay on the canvas. I forced myself to work on this as much as I could, because I liked the idea I had a lot and didn't want to abandon it. Unfortunately, I completely gave up on trying to render Miku though. I know a lot of my issues with Krita were probably just skill issues, but I'm never going to use it ever again regardless. I know a lot of people feel upset when someone bashes something they like. So please don't feel bad if you use Krita. I may not like it, but that doesn't mean you can't. And now for the other website, Whiteboard Fox. To be honest, there really isn't much to say on this one. I didn't put much thought or effort into this one, because I knew this site was very limited. It was kinda just a mindless doodle, to be honest. The fact that you're limited to 7 basic colors, unless you pay a $8 a month subscription, is pretty bad in my opinion. It was fun working with the limited color palette though. A lot of the other features are also locked behind the subscription too. You can't even save what you draw as a file on your device unless you pay for the subscription. The eraser is also pretty bad too. It erases by stroke instead of by area. There are layers, but once again only if you pay. This site, much like Magma, also has the feature to draw with others, I think, but everything is so limiting without the subscription that I think you're for better off just using Magma. Truly, I don't think it's even worth it to pay the subscription anyways, because what you're paying for is access to basic features that are free on most other programs. I understand that they need money to keep up with server costs and keep the site running, but surely they could offer better services for what you're paying for. I didn't finish this one cause I felt there was no point in it. Time for the only mobile app in this sketchbook. Given the nature of it being a phone app, it's gonna be a bit awkward viewing-wise in the video, so apologies for that. For this piece, I decided to draw Miku in Rugu Rina's outif from Higurashi. I love Rina, she's awesome. At the time of writing this, I haven't finished Higurashi yet. I've just finished the connecting fragments part of Matsurabayashi. Genuinely a very good series if you can handle darker topics. Would highly suggest trying the VN. The first chapter is available for free on Steam. Though as a warning, the writer's clearly a bit weird about kids.so. If you can't handle that, it's probably best to stay clear of Higurashi. The proportions on this drawing are a bit off, but I couldn't be bothered to fix most of it. #lazy. This one I also struggled to find a brush, liked for a while, but I did eventually find one that felt pretty nice. Sketchbook is a fine app. Everything was very simple and easy. Not my favorite, but it works fine. Didn't have any big issues with it. I'm not like the biggest fan of how the UI is laid out, but it's not terrible. Don't have much else to say on this one, so enjoy the rest of the speed paint and music. I wanted to do more for this video, but unfortunately, it's hard to tell if this is really worth my time. Art is my job, and spending hours drawing things that aren't commissions and then spending even more hours editing the video together isn't necessarily the best, given there's no guarantee that this video will even do well. So anyway, for my rankings of these programs, number 1, Clip Studio Paint. Pretty obvious, yeah. Number 2, Fire Alpaca. 3 is Sketchbook. 4, Magma. To be honest, it was hard to decide the placements. For Magma and Sketchbook, they both felt alright to me. 5, Whiteboard Fox. And at the bottom of the list is Krita. That's about all for this video. I do want to say though that I'm sorry that I'm using TTS instead of my voice. I did want to, but I just can't get myself to do it. Halfway through editing this, I had the idea of using Tomodachi Life's TTS, but unfortunately, I was too far into it to redo everything. I probably won't do another video like this. again unless this one does well. But if it does and I do something like this again, it'll probably use the Tomodachi Life TPS instead, even though that'd probably take more time or effort. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Goodbye.